thought I'd just do this quick video to show you the differences between different sound decoders for fairly similar locos. Now, what we've got is we've got a Hornby TTS in this one, set up for tornado with chime whistles and single note whistles. Here we've got Soundtraxx Economi UK. Now that's a K3, but it's a 3-cylinder loco as well. I've got it set up with a high pitch whistle, typical of LNER. Then we've got a Doehler and Haas decoder from Locoman Sounds for a Thompson A2. And then finally we've got another Locoman Sounds, this time on an ESU decoder for a A3 or A1. So I'm going to play each one of these in turn and show you what they all sound like, and you know, we might have a bit of a chat at the end around what might be good for what situations. Okay, so first we're going to start up the Hornby TTS sound decoder. So you can see here, pressing number 1, it's ready to go. Whistle's not too bad, but it's 8-bit sound by the sound of it, and it's got a bit of an artifact in it. But let's just get it going and see how it sounds. What you should be able to see as it runs. You can see the wheel revs are not in time with the exhaust, even though they do speed up and slow down, and it has some coast in it. So we'll bring that back. We can use the other whistle. It also has a few artifacts. Bring it back. No, I haven't got any, I've just used whatever they've had for momentum in there. The speed control's okay. And it sounds like a steam loco. So, but you're pretty fixed in terms of you can only run a couple of sound channels at once. So I can run a couple of sound channels, but not at the same time. We've got coal settling and stuff. So that's Hornby TTS. So now we have the Soundtraxx Economi, or Economy, however Soundtraxx wants you to pronounce it. I've got this fitted in K3, but you can set it up. It's got, I think, 4 different chuff sets, from small GWR 262 through a standard 5, and A3 and an 8F, I think, as well. So you can use those and choose the one that suits you best. And you've got 14 whistles that come with it as well. So it's a pretty versatile decoder, and it's quite cheap. I think it works out probably around £100. Oh no, it must be less than that. It's I think it's about $80 US, so that must be about £60 or thereabouts. And so I'm actually quite impressed with these. I've stuck them in a few locos now, and here we go. What you might have heard there is that when it gets up to a bit of speed, it actually gets quite repetitive. That's the only thing I don't like about these, is that I suppose their speed range where they sound good is a bit limited. It's pretty good at slow speed. But it is also volume dependent depending on your throttle position, so you can hear that's quiet. and loud. And you can also play around with various sound settings, and it's got lots of functions. I mean, and so does the TTS. The TTS has plenty of sound functions as well, but they're just a bit more in the Soundtraxx Economi. So I'm actually, you know, for a Loco that's probably not that prominent on the loud, I think it's okay. Next we have Doehler and Haas equipped Thompson A22 that's got a Locoman Sounds sound file on it, and I have to say it's one of my favourites. The reason I like it is it's got a pretty deep sound. The sound functions themselves are nice and clear. You can time it quite easily. You can use a brake function quite easily, as you can with the Economi, but not with the TTS. And so from a driving perspective, a sound perspective, I have to say I'm pretty impressed, and this sound is one of my favourites, to be honest. You can see that's with the brake on. Now, the only thing I don't particularly like about this particular sound file is just that the whistle has a fairly long intro into it. If I toot it. But it is playable after the intro. Now, that's just the way the sound file's set up, and on another one, which we'll show you in a sec, it doesn't have that same thing. And to be honest, it just adds character to the Loco, so that's why I particularly like it. Now the last one that I'm going to show you is now an ESU Loksound 5 equipped Loco with Locoman Sounds A3 sound file. And this again is something that I'm actually very happy with. I'll turn that on. I like it because you've got a playable whistle that's a lot more responsive, short whistles of different description, and also I'm quite familiar with Loksound, so I can set this up exactly how I want it. And I can change the momentum and everything. Whoop. Probably didn't put that on the track properly when I did it before. Bringing that back. Now the only thing with ESUs is sometimes you can't get as much volume out of them as you would like. This one's pretty good, and it does everything that I need it to. Out of all of them, my pick at the moment is probably still the A22. It just, I don't know, it has a deeper sound just with the way the speaker's been fitted to it and everything. But just generally, I think if you're looking for something like just something to make some noise, the TTS is probably going to fit the bill if you're not too worried about having things like a brake function, the sound synchronized to the drivers, and nice clear sound. But it might get you into the sound part of the hobby. The danger is once you get into the sound part of the hobby, I said with this layout I was only probably going to have one sound Loco. I've now got about 30. Because you get addicted very, very quickly. The Economi UK decoder, I think, has actually got a lot going for it, and you can get a pretty reasonable sound Loco out of it, but if you run something at high speed, it sounds a little bit off. one of the best things about the Locoman decoders is they always sound good at high speed, and I'm pretty much hooked on them. I make up some of my own sound files on ESU as well, but I can tell you now that the Locoman Sounds ones are by far the best that I've come across. And just to finish off with, here's why I like the Locoman sound decoders best. If you listen to this is just behind the backdrop here now. But right through the speed range, this sounds really good, and it's why I'll continue to use Locoman as much as I can, as well as making my own whenever there isn't something that Locoman's brought out yet.